Come on, Tesla. Hey everybody, welcome to the Tesla Cybertruck. Welcome to Moab Slick Rock. And today we're putting the Tesla Cybertruck to the test off-road.
Yeah, we're gonna take it down the identical course that we took the Raptor R down a few years ago so we can compare $100,000 trucks to see how the Cybertruck compares kind of to the king of off-road trucks.
Yeah, so this is by far the most polarizing vehicle we've ever brought to Moab. Believe it or not, we've gotten both thumbs up and thumbs down from folks that all want to give their opinion about the Cybertruck, but we're going to put it to the test on some rocks today. We got a little cliff to climb down, we got a cliff to climb up, and we're going to talk about how it compares to one of the ultimate gas half-ton trucks, the Ford F-150 Raptor R.
Looks like we've already done a little bit of trail carnage here. Hit it right there, Tommy.
Yeah.
Just getting it to this point, and then back here, there's just a bunch of plastic that we've already damaged. Well, you want to show them?
Yeah, right under here on a departure angle, we did some scraping and some sliding just to get to this point on this trail. So it's going to be a really interesting day. Now, this is our first obstacle. It's called the frame bender. It's this big step down. It's probably a 1.5 foot little ledge we got to clear. It's going to be really steep, and we're going to be able to test suspension, throttle control, articulation, brake software control. So it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, and then we're going to go up One Tree Hill, which would normally be easy if we had lockers, but we don't. And this is where I'm a little salty, Tommy. Apparently, we bought a truck with lockers, but because we don't have the software update, we don't have usable lockers because we can't activate them. How crazy is that?
So it's May the 3rd today, and they started rolling out the new off-road software update to Cybertruck owners. That includes a locker activation, but we didn't get it. So we're gonna have to test this truck like we have it today. You know, if we had a PR contact at Tesla, we might be able to reach out to them and say, hey, could you send out this update so we can really see what it does? You know, I'd love to talk to an engineer to learn more about the steering control and how their corresponding front and rear steer with the steer-by-wire. I've got a lot of questions I'd love to talk to an engineer about, but it's just not possible with Tesla.
Yeah, yesterday we went off-road, and that video is coming as well, in the new, well, newly revised Hummer EV SUV. And those guys spent months on the trail dialing in the suspension, dialing in the rear wheel steering, so that when you buy the vehicle, you get all the features. With Tesla, apparently, you buy the vehicle, then the engineers do the testing, and then they roll it out, and then you get the feature, which is great, except it doesn't help us because, you know, we're here today, and we don't need lockers on the drive back to Denver. We need them now, and we don't have them. And I'm a little salty about that, Tommy. I kind of feel like if the thing's on the Monroney, you should get it and not have to wait for, you know, it's very unprofessional, let's just say, to sell a truck without features that you paid for.
All right, well, that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about some of the capability aspects of this truck. So this is a dual motor Cybertruck. It means there's a motor in the front and a motor in the rear, and the total system output is 600 horsepower, 0 to 60, according to Tesla, in 4.1 seconds. There's also the tri-motor Cyber Beast, but that is not the one we have. Now, this vehicle has 4-corner air suspension with a number of different heights that we can set the suspension to, including an extract mode, which is up to about 16 inches, which is
Actually,
crazy.
we did some more damage right there. I just put it back.
Oh man, why is there so much plastic, low-hanging plastic on the Cybertruck?
Yeah, look, it's already kind of coming off here.
Oh gee.
I don't know, Tommy. There's a lot of plastic on this thing. And you know, the reason we spent over $100,000 on this is to test it. So if this, you know, were mine, I kind of feel bad about it, but I kind of feel like at least now we're giving you guys value and showing you things that can break off. And we're on Vincent things, which
is not a very hard trade.
No. I mean, we use our, you know, our app Onyx, right? Which we can't actually put on the Cybertruck because it doesn't have Apple CarPlay, but we use it here. And I think Onyx rates this, I haven't seen, but it's not a very hard trail.
It's like a 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Onyx Off-Road will tell you the difficulty and what to expect out on the trail. They are our channel sponsor, and we love them, not only because they're sponsored, but because I think they're the best off-road navigation app out there. Now, in terms of tires, Dad.
Oh, you forgot. If you want to get 20% off.
Code TFL Off-road. So tires, this is a 285, 65 R20. So it's about a 34.6 inch tire in diameter. Now, what's good about that is it's a 35-inch tire. It's a lot of rubber. What's bad about it is it's rolling on a 20-inch wheel, so not a huge amount of sidewall. We all know what happens when I go off-road with 20-inch wheels. G'day! And the sidewall gave out again.
Wow.
But this is how our Cybertruck came, the rusty hub and all. It doesn't include the little hubcap, or the wheel cover, because they were cutting into the sidewall of this crazy looking Goodyear. Not a super aggressive tread blocking pattern, so I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to work on the slick rock, but we're about to find out. And then my dad's demonstrating the steer-by-wire four-wheel steering, so we got the...
Well, there's this, saying that there's nothing that 2 inches more of rubber off-road won't make better, except if you look over here, Tommy, you're not going to get any more rubber under there. There's just no way.
It's really, really tight against that fender flare.
Yeah.
Someone will.
Well,
you know what would fix that? A Sawzall.
Yeah, or fins and things.
That'll fix it. Yeah, maybe it'll self-clear it.
Yeah, well, self-clear it. Yeah, exactly right.
There you can see the four-wheel steering. And the craziest part about this truck, in case you haven't seen it, is that you only get like 170 degrees lock to lock. You start the truck up, put my foot on the brake. So this is all the way left, and that is all the way right.
You want to show the rear wheel steering?
Yeah, and you can see both the front and the rear wheels steer according to your input, and there's no physical linkage between this weird squared off yoke and the wheels. So it's all by wire, which is really cool, steer by wire.
All right, so I was just driving this, and one thing that I got to tell you I really hate about this truck is that yoke, right? This truck is big, it's burly, it's mean, and yet it's got basically a poodle dog collar on a Rottweiler. And I want something big and beefy that I could put my hands around and control. That thing feels like a joystick or some kind of, video game controller, not something that controls, what, a 7,000-pound beast here off-road.
Well, should we try to take it off-road?
Yeah, let's go. I'll film you, I'll shut up, and you go down frame bender first, right?
You want me to show the off-road mode here?
Yeah, why don't you show the off-road mode?
Now, just so we're fully transparent, I'm going to go into here and we'll show you our software version. So it's, let's see here, 2024.8.100, and it was last updated this morning. So unfortunately, we don't have the cool new software app for off-road. So what we can do is go into drive mode, confirm. We've got overland and Baja mode. We've got a bunch of different terrain modes. We're going to stick it in rock. And then in the suspension, we have a few different settings, high, very high, and extract. Now we're going to probably go into very high for this cliff.
Yeah, let's not bend the frame.
And that's going to really...
You can see how high. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's going to start to top out the suspension though, so I'm worried a little bit about our travel. It might be like riding on a pogo stick. But what's really cool, I really do like this, with the ride position sensors, you can actively see the ride height change. So we're good there, and then if we try to lock the diff, locking differentials coming soon.
Yeah, we're going to need that going up One Tree Hill. Not tomorrow, but now.
Yeah, right now, but we don't have it.
All right, well, there's a side-by-side coming. I'll let him go by, Tommy, and then oh, go ahead.
I do like this though, Dad. They tell you motor temp front and rear, 108 degree front, 97 degree rear, battery temp, lots of really good information there, which I think is fantastic.
And the cameras are good too.
The cameras are really good. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
There's actually a little shortcut on the yoke. If I push this little button, really crisp front camera, which is definitely needed because look at the visibility out the front. It's terrible. So that front camera is really coming in handy.
All right, let's see if you can make it up and over frame bender without bending a frame, Tommy.
All right, or a battery, more likely.
I don't think this is actually warranted for off-road use. I'm serious.
I'm not sure any new vehicle is, Dad.
I was going to say, let's cut to the Raptor R going down this so they can compare, the two $100,000 trucks and how they go over frame bender. You're 3 feet. You're good. We're about 2 feet. You're perfectly lined up. You're about to go over it. You got about a foot now. Okay, you're 6 inches. The right passenger front tire is about to go over. Okay, you're about to go right about now. There we go. And if you didn't have enough clearance or enough tire there, you would bend the frame or you would hit the front. You can also hit the back of the hitch on this. A lot of trucks scratch. And this is where taller suspension and bigger tires certainly help a lot. So let's see how it does. You're about to go over, Tommy. You got 6 inches, 3 inches. You're about to go. Let's see if it hits. Oh, close. Those exhaust pipes. Oh, we hit. I heard it. I think we hit the hitch. Let's see. Did we hit the hitch? That'd be my guess. I think we hit the hitch. That's okay. Oh, yeah.
All right, we're back. So what I was saying earlier is there really is, in my opinion, too much rebound control, especially in the front end, and it really makes the truck feel super stiff when you're on this kind of terrain. So you come off of a ledge or you're coming off of a rock, and
All right, you're about to go over, Tommy.
thank you, Dad. The truck works so hard to control the rebound that it just comes across as extremely bouncy. Or, sorry, stiff, not bouncy, the opposite of bouncy. We're going down frame bender. Actually, you know, with the one pedal driving, the modulation is really pretty simple. Let's see if we have the departure angle for this little cliff. Oh, yeah. Lot of clearance. When this air suspension is in very high or extract, you do have an insane amount of approach and departure angle relative to the vehicle. And then every now and then, the one pedal drive seems to like give up the ghost and you just go catapulting down the hill. So that is a little unnerving. So it's like, it's good at really slow speeds, and then you get a little higher and it gets a little not as good. All right, my dad is struggling coming down this big steep hill. Dad, you want to hop in for a sec?
I'll walk up One Tree Hill. You kind of go, it looked like you lost a little bit of control there.
Yeah, I mean, the one pedal driving works really well at super slow speeds. And then you get to like 2.5 miles an hour, and it's like all hell breaks loose, and you really coast quickly.
Yeah, I think it's over 7,000 pounds.
6,600.
Yeah, the gravity just takes over at that point, which actually, compared to like the Hummer EV, which was 9,400 pounds, seems featherweight.
Front camera, by the way, has a little squirter on it.
Does it?
Yeah, I like that.
Squirt it.
That's great.
Squirter. Yeah.
That's pretty
All right,
cool.
I'm going to walk up One Tree Hill. I'll just follow you up.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I really think the biggest area that the Tesla engineers could improve is the ride quality off-road. There's just a huge amount of head toss. And one thing that the GMC engineers did, which was cool in the Hummer EV SUV, in the off-road pack, they realized, why do we have this much head toss? And they ultimately removed the rear sway bar altogether on that vehicle and retuned the air suspension to limit the head toss, and it made an enormous difference. But this truck, it's very stiff, and it's just too stiff, especially in rock mode. There needs to be more compliance. What I am impressed with, so I find the steering to be a little twitchy, especially on road at highway speeds. It's always trying to shoot you in one direction or the other if you so much as glance at the yoke. But off-road, this steer-by-wire programming, I'm very impressed so far. Now, you can make it move really quick if you move the steering wheel really quick, but if you are gentle with it, it's nice and smooth. And the weirdest sensation is there's no feedback at all from the yoke. So on like an old school non-power assisted steering vehicle, a lot of the time the rule is you keep your thumb outside of the wheel, outside of the spokes, because the wheel can turn into a digit remover, as they call it, when it hits a rock and then swings back at you. There is no movement in the wheel that's not intended to be there. All right, we're on a little rock here.
Yeah.
That's where we could use the locker. So I had to apply a little bit more accelerator than I probably would have liked, but we're making it. All right. Now here comes One Tree Hill. It is a steep climb that is off camber. Try to get this thing off kilter a little bit here. The issue is if you get it wrong, you end up sliding into the tree, which is not what you want. All right.
You're going to have to lock the rear, dude.
We have run out of traction, Dad. I'm locking the rear diff. Come on, Raptor. Oh, yeah, look at that.
And it's that easy.
Walked right up it.
All right, Tommy.
Yep.
There's a bunch of people behind us. Do you guys want to come by? They're going to watch.
Okay.
They're going to watch along with us.
No pressure.
No pressure, dude.
So One Tree Hill is very off camber, and it has a tendency to try to throw you into the tree. And let's see how the torque delivery is. Let's see how the wheel flare is. Now, without diff locks, what the vehicle is doing is slowing down the spinning wheel to send wheel speed to the wheel that has traction. It's basically trying to mess with the torque application all electronically. And let's see if it can do it. By the way, this truck is enormous. You really don't get a sense of that until you see it in person. So there's that weight trying to drag me down. We got this hole on the right. We're going to flex the truck out. Okay, trying to apply. Gentle accelerator. That's full throttle. Full throttle. The truck is really limiting. Still at full throttle. Still at full throttle. You have 600 horsepower. Uh-oh. Front motor temp got to 280 and turned orange.
Yeah, this is where you need lockers.
This is really where you need a locking diff.
You're gonna have to go the roundabout way.
I always like to try this obstacle slow to see how the traction management is, and then I'll give it some momentum. Honestly, it was pretty disappointing. And the torque delivery
go hard right.
was
hard
also
right.
not very good. Come on, Tesla. There we go. All right, we did it. But let me tell you what, folks. Maybe it would be better with the locker, but my issue there is I spent almost that entire hill climb at full throttle, and it just wasn't delivering the torque to the wheels. The computers were overriding and saying, nope, this is what you really want. That's not what I want. I want wheel spin, and I need that wheel to flare up, grab the brake, and send torque over, and it just wasn't doing that. So the traction control programming in our version of the software is not very impressive. There's a lot of work that Tesla has to do before I would really want to take this off-road in anger. I'll put it to you that way. Not great.
I think that was more skill than Cybertruck.
The motor temp is coming down now. Interestingly enough, the rear motor was nice and cool, but that front motor got to like 282. It's starting to get really warm. It needs more like torque applied to that rear end. I was full throttle that whole time. I keep saying throttle, that's a gas term. Full accelerator. And the truck just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do.
Hey, won't come out and...
yeah, let's close it up.
Yeah, close it up.
That is the coolest thing we've seen.
You like it?
So cool.
Oh, very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're from Canada.
Oh, nice.
We don't have any of these up there yet.
Oh, I'm doing a little video
Yeah,
here.
we're doing a little video.
Do you guys
So-
like the way it looks, or do you think it's kind of funky?
It looks cool.
You
Hold
think
on.
it looks cool?
You think it looks cool?
It looks like a spaceship. Can we look inside?
Yeah, feel free.
All right.
Feel free to
We
look
brought the
inside.
whole family.
Nice. You guys having a good day on the trail?
This is awesome. All right, guys. They said we could take a
Yeah,
look.
come on, look inside.
Here, one of your helmet off.
There you go.
Just goggles.
It's very minimalist, but go ahead, check it out inside.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's all just triangles in here.
Yeah, sure. Just pop it. Feel free to look.
Enjoy.
All right, Tommy.
Yes.
As we have admirers of the Cybertruck, the feeling I get is this is a Cybertruck that was designed by engineers that don't go off-road. In other words, an off-roader designed by on-road people.
You know, and I think a lot of the problems that this truck faces can be solved by software. The ground clearance is impressive. The tire's pretty good. I think the suspension has the basis to be very capable, but it's just the tuning. It's like that last 10% isn't there. So we're gonna have to come back out here in a couple updates.
Well, we got the recovery points.
Recovery points, right? You got a good approach angle, except for these little arrow bits, which maybe can be removed. I mean, a lot of really good stuff here, but the tuning just isn't there, and it's that last 10% that can make or break a vehicle.
Yeah, that's where really the tire hits the
rock.
well, I was going to say slick rock.
Yeah.
Here in Moab, but it's also a function of the fact that this is kind of form follows function instead of function follows form, right? So you've got these like pretty good approach and departure angles, but then you got these little, like you said, these little plasticky things which are just gonna, break off road, right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
And I'd love to see like rock rails if you were serious about it, so you're not hitting the bottom where the battery pack is. I'd love to see a bigger steering wheel so you can feel like you got good seeing you guys.
Yeah, have a good one.
So you feel like you got good hold of it. And I'm curious to see what that update does. But once again, I'm really salty about it because we paid for it, and here we are, struggling on a pretty easy trail because it's open diffs, even though it's got lockers that you can't actuate.
We should just crawl under there with like a 9-volt and jump
Just-
the
yeah,
locker.
just jump 'em, yeah.
Just jump it on.
Yeah, I'm sure that would throw all kinds of codes.
All right, folks. Well, let us know what you think in the comment below. I mean, I think that, yes, it has a potential, but like the Raptor R, it's just such a more dialed-in truck for both Baja running and off-roading. It's really no comparison. The Ford is the winner in this comparison.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, you can tell that Ford has decades of off-roading experience, and they put all that knowledge into the Raptor R. Here, you've got somebody who's learning as opposed to somebody who's learned.
But people love it
Hey,
or hate it.
it's cool. It's badass. and we took it out here because that's what we do at TFL, and that's why we bought it, because we want to really test it and find out, does this thing actually work like a truck as opposed to a piece of moving art?
Yeah,
all right, as always, this is Roman.
And Tommy, we'll see you next time.
Ciao.